Hello everyone. Actually, today we are under the pretext and under our YouTube channel team A.M.M.A. We have our special guest, Mr. Ankit Singh, to tell us about something in terms of career counseling. As this man is jack of all and master of all, he has done his engineering. He has also a fair bit of idea about MBA preparations. He also knows how to crack every and such stuff like that. He is also a veteran into IAS preparation, and currently he is holding an academic profile in Rau's IAS Coaching Academy for IAS examination preparation. Over to you, Ankit.
Hi, Shiv.
Uh, Ankit, actually, some of our kids and some of our friends have a lot many doubts. I would like to start with the more basic and more basic and more generic ones, which are that I would like to start with that how to keep your morals high in each and every phase of all the examinations, especially after what is happening in our society. For instance, the NEET paper leak or any other examination like that.
See, the thing about morale is that it never is constant. Whenever you start your preparation, the morale obviously is quite high. And then slowly by slowly, as the time progresses, your morale goes up, and most of the time it goes down. So the key is not to get afraid by it. Just like your mood, morale is also not constant. And talking about the paper leaks, NEET, and other competitive exams, these are something which are way, way beyond your control. So trying to control the uncontrollables will obviously have an effect on morale. So that's why my suggestion is to eliminate the outside noise, focus on what and how you are preparing for that particular exam. Just that. Rest outside everything is immaterial for your preparation.
Sir, one more common question which we have received from many of our audiences is that since you also belong to one of the core branches of engineering, are they literally dying, sir? Core branches, mechanical,
No,
metallurgy.
no. The straight answer is no. See, the current technological developments obviously favor the subjects related to computer science and information technology. So the market demand for these subjects are comparatively higher than other branches, say the legacy branches like electrical, mechanical, and civil engineering. But the importance of these legacy branch still remains the same. So when you're comparing it with CSC or IT, you're seeing a decline in their relative, say, packages that the companies offer. But on an absolute terms, they have remained constant. And what I see even 10, 20 years beyond or after right now, the demands will be constant. So students who are in mechanical, electrical or civil engineering, please do not get afraid or do not be jealous of your CSE friends. Your time is here and will be here constantly.
Sir, also I would like to ask on the entrepreneurial front that many kids in today's eon are trying to become wannabe entrepreneurs or just want to be businessmen in this. Sir, is this so much boom and uh, so much competition just to achieve that sakes, just to be like someone else? Is it good? So much entrepreneurs in one country at one place and everyone trying to be something. Is it good?
See, it is good when anyone attempts their entrepreneurial venture after they complete their education. Many of the instances, both in India and abroad, you must have heard people dropping out of famous colleges and to start up a venture in their garages, which has now become a trillion-dollar company. Uh, Apple, Google, or are such examples. But the key here right now is not to get attracted by those dropouts. The most important thing for a student like you right now would be to complete your education. Then in India, there's a saying now, after you do your engineering, then you decide what to do with your life. Similarly, you will only be like what 21, 22 years old after you graduate, and you'll have an ample amount of time to go to whatever path you want to go. Entrepreneurship is well and good because it in a way creates jobs, contributes to our GDP, and more importantly, if your entrepreneurial venture is something oriented towards manufacturing, it will also lead to increasing economic productivity of our country. So all of this is important, but more important is to complete your education first.
I would like to invite Ashish to ask a few of his questions which were given to him. Yes, Ashish.
सिंस क्योंकि आप आईएएस की कोचिंग प्रोवाइड करते हैं, तो फिर मेरा ये सवाल रहेगा, क्योंकि आईएएस में हमारे पास 6 अटेम्प्ट होते हैं, बट स्टिल लाइक मोस्ट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट drives what kind of motivation drives student to take multiple attempts, like why can't they choose another fields, like they can go some other things they can try.
यूपीएससी में अटेम्प्ट्स के लिए probably the first and probably the most important motivating factor for giving attempts for UPSC is the quest for power. Because no other job in our country right now will give you as much amount of power in such a young age that you can technically be 23, 24 years old and you'll be an IAS officer, an assistant, or an additional district magistrate in a district. This highlights the amount of power that even a 24-year-old can enjoy. In addition, the societal recognition for these jobs are quite high. Excuse me. And the people who are in these jobs are seen as a virtual superstars in their society. And also, there's a factor called individuals want to bring a change. And this can happen through these posts. So that's why the attraction for these kind of jobs are so high in our country. And I think so it will continue to remain so.
Sir, I would also like to question before Ashish asks his next question that what is the take on bureaucracy in other countries like USA, UK? Because we don't see so much of these superstars in these countries. Maybe they might be present, but we don't see so much of them as in India.
See, a lot of posts in, say, the bureaucracy of United States are politically appointed. That whenever a new regime, be it Republican or Democrat, comes to power, they appoint their own set of experts, but eventually they are politically appointed. And they serve office according to the pleasure of be it governor or president. So in a way, the duration of their office holding is temporary. But on the other hand, India is entirely different. The bureaucrats, be it in state or union level, they are appointed by the president through a competitive exam called civil services exam. And they serve in these services, be it IAS, IPS, until they retire. So these are very two different notions. And India is something historically has lacked the amount of private sector jobs. So naturally, the attraction for government jobs is quite high, which is not the case with developed nations such as United Kingdom or United States.
Ashish.
My next question is, what are the major challenges students face during IAS preparation and how can they overcome them?
Can you ask your question again?
What are the major challenges students face during IAS preparation and how can they overcome them?
See, the most uh, important challenge or the most major challenge that the students face is UPSC society. Is that whenever a person is 24, 25-year old, according to the society, that person, be it he or she, is expected to do something. Mostly it's conventional jobs, and for some, it is the need to get married. So the societal pressure on aspirants who in major cases are not employed, it increases manifold. And this results into an added pressure, even way beyond the academic pressure. And also, as far as the exams syllabus is concerned, you all must be knowing it is quite vast. So, to understand, grasp, and implement all the knowledge in an atmosphere which already creates a pressure on you, it is the most challenging aspect of UPSC examination.
Sir, one more thing I would like to add into it, since there are a lot of examinations in our country, and I heard Gaurav Munjal saying one place, the co-founder of an academy, he said that we are not into teaching business, we are into a lottery business. So I was shocked that what this man is saying, and he was quite right to justify it. He was saying that we are into lottery business as the government runs a few contests, for instance, JEE, and whoever cracks them with the best ranks get into the best colleges, gets the best opportunities, and they have this knack, so they become successful. Means 10 out of 9 become good or better in their lives from the former lives from which they came from. They become better or more more complacent towards it. And sir, is it right to say that these are contests?
See, we should not pay too much attention on what an entrepreneur says. And most importantly, the entrepreneur in question is not an educationist by profession. He's more of an entrepreneur who set up a business well and good. But to say that government exams are lottery, I think so it would be a misplaced thought. Because in lottery, everybody, the person who buys the lottery ticket, each and every one of that individual are equally placed. That mathematically speaking, each and everyone's probability of getting that lottery is equal. But that's not the case with an examination. People who study more, who solve a lot of tests, who are focused, have much, much higher probability than the persons who are not serious about the exams or just the persons who are just giving these exams for examination sake. That इनके पेरेंट्स बोल रहे हैं, माँ बाप बोल रहे हैं, दोस्त बोल रहे हैं, तो ये दे रहे हैं. So these two kinds are polar opposites. So obviously the first half or the former who have prepared well, they have higher probability. Yes, it's a merit-based competition. There's a lot of competition because our population is huge, but saying it as purely a lottery is wrong.
Sir, but in countries like China and even in Japan to an extent, people have stopped reproducing just because of the phenomenal competition that their kids would have to face in the future. And even the Gaokao examination, one of the toughest in the world, people are so afraid that what their child go through, they've stopped reproducing, they've stopped giving out kids, and as a result, the population is falling down. Means can education be sustained to such a larger societal problem where people have stopped reproducing? The birth rates are going down.
No, I'll have to correct you on this shift. The control or the reduction in birth rates in these two countries, that is Japan and China, are for entirely different reasons. For Japan, it is more of an economic decision that the country already is resource scarce, that it does not have even the basic resources, and it is dependent on imports for meeting the resource needs of the country. And as far as uh, China is concerned, the population control directive comes from the ruling Communist Party of China. So, because of that directive, what has happened that the government of China has disincentivized uh, people from reproducing more or from getting more and more children to appear. So that has tantamount into a kind of a societal, political, and economic taboo that you are reproducing more children. And these are the factors what disincentivize people from China and Japan from reproducing more. And also, don't you think that people in India are not aware of the fact that students in India are under so much academic pressure? So
Sir, how
no,
could this be pressure brought down? or just reduced for the sake of children?
See, from an academic standpoint, I understand the impact the pressure has on a student, and it is not fair. But relying on the fact that exams such as UPSC or NEET or JEE, they are competitive exams that they favor candidates who are more meritorious. So, from that justice point of view, this kind of an exam outlook is correct. But then we need to be also sensitive about the fact that students of age 17 or 18 are under immense pressure. And in many cases, we have seen students have taken drastic measures, such as ending their lives. So the attempts to reduce the pressures on students should come from society and more importantly from the parents themselves. That they should be aware of the fact that their student or their children are eventually going into market of education. I'm sorry. And also they should try not to pressurize their children so much that it impacts their psyche. But also they should be tough, but not to an extent that it damages their kind of self-worth and self-confidence. So I think so the attempts to reduce pressure should come from students themselves and more importantly the parents themselves.
Ashish?
Okay, so my next question is very straightforward. Forward. Why do most engineers prepare for IAS, or why do many IAS officers are engineers?
I told you before now, in India there's a saying called you do engineering first and then you decide what to do with your life. And also in recent times we have seen the number of students who are graduating from engineering streams are quite high. And also, as far as the education is concerned, they are more oriented towards mathematics and other subjects. So, all these mathematics oriented subjects, be it CAT, you will see engineers attempting these exams more. And also, due to increased supply and reduced demand, we have seen the packages or the amount of money offered by companies to engineers have plateaued. So naturally, with increasing inflation, people are more inclined towards higher paying jobs, which eventually gets you. So that's why,
Uh, Sir, even if we talk about these mathematical oriented examinations, uh, I remember that when Rishi swore in as a Prime Minister of UK, there was a scarcity of jobs for local UK people. So he urged them to learn mathematics more, and people literally started abusing him. And maybe this is a cycle that the richer countries people put less effort in logic and mathematical things, or maybe that is the reason, but people started abusing him that you Indian brat, you know mathematics, but it doesn't necessitate that we should also learn mathematics. Is this the importance of mathematics in society, that a prime minister has to urge people to learn more mathematics to get more jobs, or means I would like your comment on that.
see, mathematics is an important subject, be it from a job perspective or from living your daily lives. You go to stores and bazaars daily and you spend money. So how do you add and how do you reckon how much money you spend? So as simple as that. Even in our daily life, mathematics play an important part. And coming to job prospects, high paying jobs these days, be it computer science, finance sector, all of these require application of mathematics. And from a developed country point of view, I understand your notion that people are not so open to doing hard work. And even in India, you'll find substantial amount of people who have get their higher education without mathematics. I'm sorry. So that's why I think so as a societal point of view, mathematics is very important. And people should try to be at least aware of the basics of mathematics, that even after they grow up, they are not like aloof from the mathematical concepts as simple as that addition, subtraction, multiplication.
Sir, adding to it, could you please just highlight a few career options for people who have just basic, basic in the sense who just have BAs and MA degrees? Because in India, to be very honest, I know people sitting in the house doing nothing. But when you compare it with other countries, one of my cousins went to France to pursue a simple BA degree in human rights and history and everything. And now she is one of the persons responsible for making the foreign policy of Tunisia. So that is the education level there, that just a BA graduate is doing so much. And you very well know, everyone very well knows that what is the education level of a BA passed out person is in India.
See, education levels of BA passed on person, say for example, top colleges of DU is very different from say the person who has gotten their BA degrees from a correspondence course. So to equate all BA degrees would not be right. And coming to career options for people who have MA and BA, I've seen most more successful people both in government and in private sector. They've gotten their degrees in public policy and policy implementation. These degrees they make you aware of the how policies are made, how policies are implemented, and how the policies are bettered upon. And even in government bodies like Niti Aayog, the demand for these experts today are quite high. That they serve on a tenurial period for say 5 to 10 years, and also the exposure it gives them towards the government and from the private sector is quite high. So persons who are matlab, interested in education and are also more intellectually inclined should opt for these degrees, that is public policy and policy implementation degrees, which you'll find in most private sector colleges even in India.
Ashish, over to you.
Uh, so the last question that I want to ask before ending this meeting, what advice would you give someone just starting their IAS preparation journey?
See, I'll tell them to eliminate the outside noise first. This exam should not be prepared if your parents are saying that you should prepare for the exam. The preparation for this exam requires an inner calling, which is essential for you to prepare. And if this inner calling is there, then you should eliminate the outside noise, set a particular time frame that within which you attempt to qualify the exam. And if you're unable to qualify this exam in that particular time frame, be very practical about it so that you leave the preparation and move on with your lives. So it does not make sense to invest 6, 7 years. But if you're inclined towards these kind of jobs, it makes sense to invest 2 years or 3 years for that matter. So the decision ultimately rests with the aspirants.
Sir, being an academician yourself, and today the godly status which is revered to such academicians like NV sir, Abadoja sir, or Vikas Devekirti sir, and all the sirs like that, they are revered as God by many kids, and they are just about to fight for their stature if someone abuses their guru. So they are about to fight, even if the guru, even if it doesn't matter to the guru at all that what is going on, what is everything. How could we deal with that? Just to, I'm not saying teachers should be praised, teachers should be given this status, but how can it be more normalized, more like what happens in Finland, Denmark, Sweden? People, one Vikas Devakirti teaching to 1,000 people is better than a simple person teaching to 10 people. I'm just saying that how could we bring down the equation to it?
See, historically, particularly in ancient India, The respect that the teachers garnered back then were even higher than the parents. And that has continued even today. But to give godlike status to an individual, particularly to an individual who has a business venture of teaching students. So I see individuals personally as professionals. And good that they are teaching you and they are providing you with education, you respect them. But to fight over who has said what to X and Y is, I don't think so, is a good utilization of your time. So you should stop fighting and eventually try to prepare positively with whatever exam you are pursuing.
But sir, continuing to the same question that you said that your heart should say that I want to do something, I want to do an MBA or I want to become an IAS officer. But these people have just hijacked your shots and first video is the royal entry of an officer. Second video is your Avadoja sir saying that if you become IAS, you get so and so. So the person also recognizes and realizes that yes, this is my inner self calling. How can a person differentiate between these endorphin release inner self callings or the real self callings?
See, from strictly a business point of view, it makes sense for any businessman to do everything to market their product. And it also makes sense for an individual to have the ability to distinct between an honest attempt to encourage students and an attempt to, say, market students. So, an individual like you and I should have the ability to have or create distinctions between these two attempts. So, I would say it's not their fault that they are marketing for their business venture, and any businessman should do that. But it is the fault of an individual that they are getting swayed by such attempts. So it is good to be motivated, but it is also better to not be attracted by such videos and examples.
Sir, lastly, we have 4 to 5 minutes, and lastly, taking more of your precious time, I just wanted to say that since everything in our country is very competitive and all the problems which we are facing, what is the way to go forward for us, for anyone who is preparing XYZ for anything or in any ways, because there are career options which people don't know about. How can they explore this? How can they become aware of what is happening around them? Just I wanted to ask them, for instance, if someone wants to become a chef, how can he do it? Just the ways, and how can he be sure enough that I am passionate to do something? I'm not seeing the cooking show just to avoid my parents. I'm seeing the cooking show because I want to cook. I'm just not seeing aircraft just because I like it. I'm just not seeing cars just because I like it. I want to make that car. How can a person be sure, and what is his way forward in life? What should be his way forward in life?
Say, if you were asking about how a cook should pursue their career, that is something beyond my knowledge. So I'd not like to comment on that. But as far as, say, pursuing MBA or pursuing finance or pursuing engineering is concerned, it is you as an individual always understand what your natural inclinations are. Whether you are oriented towards subjects like computer science or whether you are oriented more towards subjects like business, accounting, and finance. So that an individual knows by the age of 20 to 22. And especially at the time when we are exposed to so much information around, we know what attracts us more. And are we willing to put in effort to pursue that field? Is where the second question comes in. That and some kind of jobs or some kind of education requires more effort. It is naturally understood. And whether that person has the ability to put that effort or not is something a person should know and should be very practical about it. It is less of an aspirational, but more of a practical decision that an individual should make. And also, even if, for example, they make a wrong decision, suppose they overestimated their capacity to do hard work. Again, well and good. Life gives you ample opportunities to change your decisions throughout. So don't be afraid, just be very practical.
Uh, Thank you, sir, for your time, and thank you, everyone. Just a closing comment that from now on, I think people should be more aware of what they want to do and become better individuals in life. That should be the goal, because at the end of the day, you will earn your bread. At the end of the day, you will have something or nothing to eat. But just your heart should be good when you come home, because the final happiness resides in a good, happy family and more of the work which you do. Thank you.